First ride in the big arena. Pre-trip groundwork. This is important to do before every ride on any horse. This little bit of checking under the hood before every ride could be the difference between an amazing ride or an ambulance ride. Here I'm working on upward and downward transitions. If you watch closely when I put my hand forward, I'm inviting him up into the next gate. So a walk to a trot. Then you might see a wiggle on the rope between us, and that is me asking him to downward transition to the gate below. So from a trot to a walk. When he breaks to that walk, you might see me raise my hand to encourage him to stay walking and not actually stop. It's very important to work both sides of the horse. One of the things that I'm mostly paying attention to are his snappy departures and responses to my cues. Is he picking up the trot as I ask for it, or am I having to beg him? Is he stopping when I ask him, or am I having to throw a lot of energy down the line? These are things that matter before climbing on his back. You'll see that I spend a lot of time dropping my ropes on the ground when I work with horses, because I want my horses to always feel like they know there's a job, and holding them tight is not my responsibility. Standing still is theirs. Satisfied with my pre-ride examination, it's time to see if we can ask him to canter out in the big arena without a whole lot of fuss. Up to this point, Aiden has been quite difficult to encourage going forward. He has a tendency to prefer to kick out, and especially when he passes fences or things that he can physically kick. My hope is to give him more space to move, and maybe he'll be able to move out.
So, after a brief check of where his skin is today, I'm going to go ahead and say, briefly go wrong.
Don't worry, I know you can't hear me. Unfortunately, I cannot turn up the volume anymore. This is an old video that I relied on my voice being able to be loud enough to be heard. This was the days before microphones for me. And while I'm apologizing, I also apologize for the video quality. I believe this is a recording of a video that was playing on my computer, so it's even more difficult to zoom in now. So this is the second time Aiden has been in this arena, and the first time being asked to carry a rider. I don't remember exactly how many rides he's had at this point, but I would say no more than 10. So what you can't really see clearly here is I'm asking for lateral flexion. I'm asking him to bring his nose around to my left toe, and then he's released to straighten out. After a pause, I ask him to bring his nose around to my right toe, and then I release him to straighten out. I do that several times before I ask him to walk off. I do not like when horses anticipate the next step of being mounted is walking off. So to keep them standing longer, I actually tell them to hurry up and stretch. Remember, this space is new to him, so he might be a little looky. I rarely edit anything out of my videos, but because the camera is not seeing this long line, I am editing out the time that we're out of the camera view. Before I would ask him to trot for the first time in this arena, I would make sure that he has seen the whole arena with a rider from both eyes. Asking Aiden to circle the barrels is to keep it somewhat interesting, as well as checking my steering. Although horses can be on the other side of the fence at the round pen, he has never been asked to ride past moving horses in this type of atmosphere. So the couple hesitations in his strides are him trying to figure out if he's supposed to keep trotting past them. Now we're going to start to see some of his protests about being asked to move out into a canter. As bratty as he was being, that long line there was the best he had done for me up to that point. I stopped him right away because I needed him to know that that's what earned him a chance to rest and a little pet. Aiden was probably one of my worst go-forward horses ever.
Now, his reward right now is to let him stand still. This is a horse that would rather stand still than do anything for us. So he's a lot of work to get going. We've had a lot of battles at the canter so far. I'm lucky he's coming down to a minimum. It's more kicking out in protest. I've gotten two real bucks out of him. We're all 4 feet from off the ground. But these are just kickouts.
I know you can't hear me here, but I needed you to see the amount of rest time that I would give him for a good effort. I'm just explaining why I stopped him when I stopped him, and the amount of time I gave him to rest was to try to entice him to work harder for more of those rest times.
To him a reward is to not do anything. We're gonna change directions. We didn't get a successful canter the other way yesterday. I started on the way we ended nice yesterday. I was kind of hopeful that we ended on a good enough note that we would get just that yes from the protest. But yesterday I successfully got quiet,
And to be honest, I was probably needing a little breath-catching break myself. Riding a horse that doesn't want to go forward is a lot of work.
see what we got going that way. I have to fight with him a lot in steering right now. And I'm not a big fan of bits. So I will eventually have him carry a bit, but I'm going to still use the reins on the halter, so you'll see the halter will be underneath the headstool. What I plan on doing is making sure that I can get him solid and light in my hand before I put a bit in his mouth. Because as you can see right now, I'm fighting with him a lot. If I was fighting with him with a bit in his mouth, I'd end up
As you
getting
can
more
see,
bruising his
Aiden
back.
has excelled in the standing still part of his job.
He's gonna hit those sores. The next time I put his bit in his mouth, we're gonna hit those sores. He's gonna develop a very negative opinion of it. Before you know it, he's bridling. That's it. It's no more. So I want to make sure he's light before I ask him to carry a bridle. Carry a bit. His owner's gonna be riding him a little bit. So I'm happy with him so far. He's accelerating. He should be, or I'm asking more of him than he should. I'm happy with the intelligence of this horse. I'll take advantage of his quick.
Are you tired of wondering what I'm saying yet?
Our lessons are very, not short, but they're brief in the workout aspect of it. He's already sweating. It's 70 degrees out right now. The flies are bothering us. So the workout he gets is minimal compared to what some days he'll be doing. This horse, I wouldn't say I would personally.
I don't always give horses a super long soap time after they've made a genuine effort. However, this is a reward to Aiden to just stand still. So I'm willing to stand still as long as Aiden needs if he'll continue to find those sweet moments of cooperation.